So I want to talk a little bit about this Patrik Laine trade because I just think it's unbelievable. I just think it's totally unbelievable. And again, you can say whatever you want about Trey. You can disagree with me. That's fine. If you don't think I could run a team better than some of these guys, you're out of your mind. Here we go. Here's Don Waddell. And I don't, if the Blue Jackets called me, I'd probably decline their phone call. I'd maybe be a consultant, but that I would not take this job. Anyway, so Don Waddell, he was the Hurricanes GM. He gets the job in Columbus. This is really his first major trade because they tried to get Natchez and he wouldn't sign there, which is why I wouldn't take this job. But be that as it may, Patrik Laine wanted out. They didn't really have a ton of leverage because he's coming off a bad year. We get all this. He's coming off a bad year where he was hurt in the player assistance program. We get all that. And he's got a monster cap hit. So we get all that. A lot of teams up against the cap. Not a lot of teams can afford him. Totally understand that. But the reason why he claims he made this trade is totally fucking insane. It's totally insane. Let's get to the trade first. So let's go into the trade first. I gave the Blue Jackets an F for this trade. So what they ended up getting was Jordan Harris. They gave up Patrik Laine, his full cap hit, and I think this is the most important part, and a 2026 second round pick, which, again, maybe he's delusional enough to not understand this because maybe he smokes crack in the morning. I don't know. But that's going to be a high second round pick. That job you're inheriting. What they have, the third pick in the draft this year? What they have last year? The third pick in the draft last year? This is, any way you slice it, this is a bottom 10 team in the league. So, and they ain't going to be any better by 2026. Okay, best case scenario, you're a bottom 12 team, bottom 15 team. Best case scenario. Right? Okay. So, he claims the reason why they wanted to make this deal is because teams are right against the cap, which we know. We want to give ourselves flexibility. And we want to help teams get cap as a third-party broker. This doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay, so Columbus, they have $18.2 million in cap space. Let's say they retained half. Okay, let's just say they retained half instead of having 18.2. Or let's say they ate 60%, or they can't eat 60%. They 20%, 30%, whatever you want to call it. Let's say they have 15 million in cap space instead. What's the difference? Your team sucks. You're not going anywhere. This team's not winning the Stanley Cup. So you gave away a second round pick so that you could potentially get it back because you have more cap space? That doesn't make any sense. Why are you giving up a second round pick to get rid of Laine? Your team is bad. Is anybody defending this guy on this trade? And it's one thing to make the trade. To say this is the reason why you made the trade is fucking crazy. You gave up a second round pick so that you can hope to get it back by having cap space as a third-party broker. What the fuck is that? And why? And if you wanted to have cap flexibility, why? What's the difference between having 18 and 15 on a team that's terrible? There is none. There's no difference. And by the way, Montreal kind of had to get rid of Jordan Harris anyway. Who cares about that? They have so many young defensemen that, if anything, he was probably blocking minutes from somebody that needed minutes. How is that your only return here? That's crazy. And again, I understand they had limited leverage. I understand he's coming off a bad year where he was hurt in the players assistant program and he wanted out of there. I get all of that. But how can you possibly say the reason why you made this trade is to have cap flexibility? You already had cap flexibility without even with Laine on your team, you still had cap flexibility. like even putting the 8.7 back, you still had what, 9 point something in cap space? What are you doing with that? Like, even with Laine on your team, you still had cap flexibility. And actually, you had over 10 because that would not include Harris. So you had over $10 million in cap space with Laine on your team. How did you not have flexibility before? Nobody's willing to answer that question, though. And then B, they gave up a second round pick in hopes to get it back. Okay. The only thing that sucks about this trade is the fact that Laine got traded to a team that didn't make the playoffs last year, and it would have been so much better just for like his overall confidence and to get the guy going if he was like centered by like McKinnon, or if Eichel was a center, or like somebody like shit. If he went to Pittsburgh, I don't like, and Crosby was like, now he's gonna get centered by Alex Newhook. I hate that, but that's not the Canadiens' fault. I don't blame them for taking the risk. I blame Don Waddell for whatever this stupid fucking trade was that makes no sense.